fragile form. Your smile that masks the stars from heaven. I drift through misfortune blooms where I have stayed locked away, where shadows creep, forgotten secrets. Reached out to me, tied my strings, and set me free. Pain, curtain falls, yet I remain. Bound by strings you can't unbind. I claim your heart, your soul, your mind. Please play with me. Don't run away. Gigi loves you, won't you stay? Mid leads the way. I twist and sway. Shadows dance where we both play.
You get PGH.
Jaeyong has access to with that Weekend Warrior gadget. The activation causes an AoE field of damage, and then your shot is empowered. Definitely something that's pretty scary. The problem for Crazy Raccoon is that they not spend much time on the point here. Boss, oh, that is dirty stuff. Another fantastic gadget activation. Able to win it out there against the Crow. And Milkrio was too low to contest. Luki, so hard to shift, and Semantic has been dancing this entire round. He and Tensai are basically playing their own side game of Brawl Stars.
And Semantic's not going to mind that at all. He's
No,
in a
he's
position
chilling.
where he's just chilling in the right-hand side and his teammates are doing well, so why change it? And I'm surprised Tensai hasn't moved out the way, tried to get Milkray over there, you know, deal some damage, get your super, we'll break the map, because nothing's changing at the moment, and Boss is still holding his own on the left. Might need some heals here for Luki as well, but he's surviving and living on.
Semantic being able to tie up the Lumi is massive here. Tensai would much rather be throwing these Morning Stars at the point itself, but they have to respect what Frank can do. It was a hypercharged super there thrown down by the Ruffs, or at least the supply drop super to empower Moya or Tensai. But Boss has just been dipping a toe onto the point here and there, being really hard to shift. Luki, much the same. Eventually the Jaeyong goes down, but Humble have enough of a buffer here to take their time, and Semantic has finally built a super.
I mean, how many supers is he going to throw on Semantic, and he's still stood there? I don't know if he's even doing anything at all, but he's there, he's being annoying, and Boss back on the zone now, has a hypercharge as well. Luki trying to move up, here's the hypercharge, and this might be the point where they lunge in, but just waiting, keeping control, and why not? Because Crazy Raccoon are doing nothing about it.
This is how Hot Zone is supposed to be played. Humble are issuing a challenge to Crazy Raccoon. Come and challenge us, force us off the point, take some risks in order to get back into the game. Boss here has to deal with the gadget now. Milkrio has that hypercharge ready to go. Map's getting broken up as Luki wants to step forward. Semantic finally falls here. Humble's starting to lose control of this game bit by bit now. It's Crazy Raccoon who are looking to get themselves into the lead. Semantic needs a hyper super but might not have a chance to build it before the round is done. He'll open up the map instead, and now Humble have one last chance to take control. But Luki's flattened instantly. Crazy Raccoon looking for another challenger. Eventually run over the top of Humble.
I mean, somehow it looked all Humble. Eventually Semantic made the move and everything crumbled from there. Frank gets decimated, he gets supers, he gets power-ups, his teammates stay alive, and they play that long game so perfectly well. Crazy Raccoon just one off reverse sweeping the world champs.
Back we go, folks. Jaeyong and Finks here in the mid. This time Semantic is opting to play a different side of the map. Has to contend with the Grim and Frostbitten gadget. Sliding on about, but still finds himself in a safe spot. Boss wins out against Tensai, though. The Lumi struggling a little bit more against the Jaeyong. Nice gadget use there from Semantic to draw Milkrio into his demise.
I mean, he's forced them to open up that left-hand side, which I don't know if that really helps the Ruffs anymore. And now he's just gone to the right, plays the same game that he was playing against Tensai in the previous one, but allowed his teammate to have maybe a bit more footing on the left. He is getting pinched in, and Lumi having a bit of a better time, locked down, and that should be a super provided to the Ruffs and a power-up to one of his teammates. But Boss will get that kill and stay alive for a little bit longer, but Luki, TP's back, not going to survive, but they've got good percent.
And again, we saw this from Humble already. They had a good start in their previous round, but they let that lead slip, and they couldn't regain it. So very quickly, they're going to need to assert themselves once more. The map is opened up on the left side. It's going to be harder for Semantic to avoid this damage from Tensai now. Eventually, he'll have to properly challenge the Lumi. But Moya's fallen to Luki, and that super is now in play for the Finks. So easy to dodge those projectiles, or at least you would think that's the case. But Milkrio was hitting those taps, and here now, the map's going to be opened up even more. Another hypercharged super. For Moya to earn a hyper, should it be required? And Milkrio now is really pushing up.
Semantic around the backside, gets locked down, and Lumi surely deals with him, but he gets the kill, and Boss through the middle gets one as well. Everything falls for Crazy Raccoon. Milkrio just narrowly surviving, but eventually a pinch of Luki and Boss will get him back to spawn. Now, just sitting on the mid, little time warp in there as well, keeps them in the mid for a little bit longer and buffs this zone so much for them.
Semantic's earned his hypercharge. This is big. He's had to make space and use his health pool as a resource, but it's given Humble 82% on the point. Boss, though, has got a backup. Wait now for reinforcements. Semantic can make his way through. Evidently doesn't have hypercharge to work it. It was used earlier maybe for the raw stats to try and stay alive. Yet much less shield in this day and age. Crazy Raccoon have been able to equalize the score now. 83% and counting. Humble have to make a play. Boss trying to come forward. Weekend Warrior for extra damage, but that Grim and Frostbite's going to make it hard to pass. No chance here for Humble to break through. A Crazy Raccoon vanquish the ghost of their past, taking down your world champions in 5 sets in their debut match in Stockholm.
Well, you said what they wanted to know, how it feels to play from behind. Now they've got a taste of the whole thing. They've got a taste of losing at LAN for the first time since I think they've been a team. Incredible reverse sweep by Crazy Raccoon. Humble, they held for so long, but eventually Crazy Raccoon breaks through in both games and mount an incredible comeback against the world champs.
We talked about it. The strategy is about being consistent, about having broadly strong brawlers that are hard to shift. But when it comes to those shock and awe moments, the moments where you have that burst damage, that all-in potential, Crazy Raccoon have the Crow. They have the Lumi as well with filthy damage output. And Tensai and Semantic fighting their own battle for much of the game. We ended up seeing Lumi emerge victorious, being able to impact the hot zone itself.
Last time those two teams faced off against each other, it was a 3-0 for Humble, a very quick match. Uber, you mentioned how they said in the interview already, we don't really know how to play when we're on the back foot because that just usually doesn't happen. Humble were meant to be the winners of this one here as well. Many people have voted for them. Many people see them as the world champions this year again. And now we see Crazy Raccoon is going to be up against Tribe Gaming next in Group B. And Crazy Raccoon on the other side, they had such a rough year. Nobody expected them, or I think it was 17% expected them to win against Humble today. They had a reverse sweep against Casa Brawl already at the Brawl Cup. Now a reverse sweep also against Humble. It seems like they feel super comfortable when they're in the back foot.
Their drafts look a lot better, right? I don't think they were on the back foot a whole in their approach to the game outside what happens in the match.
I mean, for me, it kind of seems like they started drafting well after they were 2 down. So the amount of reverse sweeps they've pulled off recently in these tense, difficult moments for them, I think you've got to say they're a team who loves playing from behind.
It looks like Humble loves to just sweep everyone 3-0. That's what they're good at, also at the Brawl Cup, but not today, unfortunately. Casa Brawl and now also Crazy Raccoon. Casa Brawl and now also Humble were reverse sweeped by Crazy Raccoon. They really feel comfortable when the pressure's on. And the pressure's also going to be on for our next 2 teams. We're now heading over to Group C. We have 2 EMEA teams. They know each other. It's going to be such a close match. It's Team Heretics versus Reply Toto.
It might be a hard job, but we will get it done.
Yeah, Facing Totem is the hardest match of our group because they are the LAN demons. So I think Heretics are, all of them are hard workers and they are trying their hardest. I think they are preparing very hard for the first match of the tournament. We also beat them like twice last time we faced. They take it more personally than we do, but I think we are a better team and we will come up on top because they're clueless in the games.
Teams made their way to Stockholm, all crammed into one arena, all chasing the same crown. And now I'm here with two new talents that guide them through the journey, that guide us through every twist and turn. Kenny and Ark, are you ready for today? How has Stockholm been so far?
Stockholm's been incredible. I mean, let there be chaos, folks. We just started out with an absolute bang. Huge upset in Group B, but I think Group C, the group of death, is going to be something different today.
You asked if I'm ready, Sonny. Do I look ready? I hope so.
You look very fine.
It's the most important event of the year. It's what we live for, and it's already been up to such a great start. I mean, who could have predicted that last result, honestly?
Sparkly, I think, is actually the word I was looking for. Sparkly, also the team that we're going to watch next. Team Heretics with some very mean gameplay usually. They have Lana, of course, one of the best tank players in the world, and they usually like to build those comps around him. Only won a single monthly final, had a bit of a rough start, brought in Zar, and with him, they did manage to close this year on a high note.
Are one of the only international transfers we've ever had in this game. On the other end, though, a team with a rocky go at it this year. Mari finally trying to find the missing puzzle piece, and this year it's Angel Boy.
Yeah, you know, historically, Reply Totem, they've always been late bloomers. But not just slow starts to the year, but slow starts to the entire season, scraping through at just the final hour, really. But LCQ, Reply Totem did do wondrously well. And we cannot forget, Drake on the coaching side of things, he was kicked off the Team Heretics roster at the beginning of the year. Now he's got a chance to have the final say.
That is a nice revenge for him, a revenge match. And we already mentioned Zara and Angel Boy, both of them come into this team as the new addition, and both of them bringing in some great experience. They already played in the World Finals 2023. Last year for both of them, it did not work out. And now Reply Totem comes through the LCQ and is here to fight.
It's definitely a split prediction here as well, and I imagine for the folks as home too, this is going to be an EMEA grudge match the whole way.
And I'd say now, let's get this party started. Barney, let's bring out the teams.
Two teams bursting with raw talent. They have the skill, they have the experience, but do they have the synergy? DreamHack, please welcome Team Heretics and Reply Totem. Team Heretics have Zar, Lenan, and Chaos. Reply Totem have Maru, Maori, and Angel Boy.
And after what just happened in the previous match, Humble losing 3-2 to Crazy Raccoon, I don't even want to give my predictions, Ken.
It's a little bit scary. I mean, I'm kind of on danger watch after match number 2 of the day, but Team Heretics, Reply Totem, there is plenty of beef to go around. This is a very personal one. Chaos playing that literally booted him this season. Zara, an international transfer. Angel Boy's back. So many storylines in this one.
Yeah, this was a massive 50-50 for me as well. I really struggled in terms of laying down my predictions. But, you know, you've got to remember, just so much storyline between these two teams. Like, Chaos, of course, was an instrumental person with getting Reply Totem through that LCQ last year, getting to the World Finals and making that top 4 position. It was a massive result for Reply Totem. But as with this year, last year was the same story. They really struggled throughout the season.
It truly is where Reply Totem feels most comfortable. They need this pressure, they need to go through LCQ, and last year it worked out wonderfully for them, made top 4 in the World Finals after just coming through LCQ, so I wouldn't count them out here, even though Team Heretics has the better seeding coming into today.
Team Heretics have certainly looked in form as of recent too. They were one of the teams that stood out to me in scrims in the week leading up to this. And I think the ultimate test is when all these international teams start flooding into the same country, right? We're starting to see other strategies, how they fare against different regions. I think they've pulled up to that. I don't know if this is necessarily the #1 team, a top contender, but they're right there below that. That feels like they have the potential to go to a semifinal at least for me.
Drage, of course, playing on Team Heretics. Chaos playing on Reply Totem. Both of those two players know exactly what it means to beat the other. They're able to really analyze their strengths and hopefully capitalize on their weaknesses in that regard too. So a lot of personal grudge matches going to be playing themselves out, and I love it.
Can we touch up on how our community loves to deem one of the groups usually the group of death?
Of course.
And Group C is where it's at. That's also why we're showing you your two matches today of this group. We have Team Heretics, Reject, Loud, and Totem. Now those two from EMEA have to face up against each other first. It's a known matchup. They play each other all year. Are the nerves now even worse, or are they feeling more comfortable?
I definitely think there's going to be a little bit going here. Anytime it's just a personal affair, I think it just means a little bit more. And to put it in light terms or real life situations, right, both these sides want to win the breakup. It ultimately comes down to that, folks. You just want to win the breakup. Chaos not with this team any longer after getting the record 4th place, 3rd place kind of setting in the last year's World Finals. Drage, of course, literally being dumped this season, and now he's on the other side. I think this one is going to be a deeply rooted one. I think this is going to be a huge tone setter for how both these two do the rest of the way. I can't wait to see how it goes down.
We're going to be so cautious going into this World Finals of the teams that came out of LCQ. I feel like Reply Totem really were so dangerous, especially when they were in fear of being swept by Team Electros in that regard. They kept their composure, they brought it back, and I think that counts for so much. And they're not going to want to waste that opportunity. Being at LAN so recently, just within the past month or so, it's a great build-up to get to this point where Team Heretics, despite winning a monthly final, they haven't had much in the mid part of that season to go through into the World Finals.
I've mentioned it before how Team Heretics really likes to build their comp around Lena. He's going to be the tank player, he's going to be the aggression that they need to just cut into the opponent's defense. On the other side, Reply Totem leans heavily on team play. After all, they have Maru and Maori, and this is, I think, the oldest cooperation we have between those two players. They have been playing together for so many years already.
Yeah, 5 Worlds in a row now, I think, at least. Now we go into the draft as well. I think this is going to be a very fun one. This screams Alley to me from Team Heretics. It's a brawler that is escalated in the meta. It fits the playstyles of both Luna and Zar. I think this is going to be all about them trying to get what they want. Reply Totem trying to prevent them from getting a draft that's favorable. Sandy, of course, going to be one of the top selected brawlers here. Max still on the board. And of course, Medan's not going to be banned. It's going to be picked.
I love to see that Sandy ban because both of these two teams really have championed that brawler in their scrims. It's the highest win rate and pick rate for each, so I like to see it. And there's the alley that you mentioned. Great call for that as well. I love that for Reply Totem. We've seen how dangerous Zar has been throughout the season on that brawler, so taking it off their hands, I think it's a wise call.
Mina picked up first. Makes a lot of sense, as you already said. Once Mina's not banned out, she's probably gonna be picked up, nerfed heftily, and yet still one of the best bowlers in the game. Ali was a good shout here on the right-hand side. On the other side, what do you play against her? Sometimes we see a Shade, very good on a map like this one, can make use of those walls, but he's banned out. Mo as well. What else is there?
Well, I think Team Heretics need to establish a mid, and that's what they did just now. Pam is somebody that has risen up the ranks. It's always been a little bit prevalent in EMEA, but especially with that hypercharge drop, it's changed up everything. It's honestly pretty solid. I think this is a lethal brawler. I think this is going to make things rather difficult for Ali. The way to deal with Ali is to beef up. More HP makes it harder for Ali to get a takedown. She can't 3-shot the Pam. Now we've got a healing station on the ground as well, so that's going to preserve the lives of the others too.
Yeah, the healing station for sure. It just cannot be overstated how much Pam has now risen forwards, and I think this is the perfect map for her. It's been a while since she's been in the competitive meta, but I think it's a great time to have her picked here. And now Chester. We've seen quite a lot of Chester already today as well. Wasn't one that was on my horizons too heavily, but certainly for Team Heretics, a brawler which they've played a lot in their practices. Now, the question here is, do Reply Totem bring in something like a Max, something aggressive in that regard? Because it's definitely one of the ones that they've been considering quite highly. They've already got the Janet. The Jean could have been an option for them, but I think the Janet might sort of take that idea away slightly from them. But certainly aggression with the alley. Tara going to come in. The gravity, of course, is where she's going to absolutely thrive.
Tara gives them a win condition now. You have to have a way, if the gems are spilled out, to try and make a last-second attempt at grabbing those. This is a little bit of a safety net for them, a little bit of aggression as well. But regardless, an intense matchup for both of these teams. EMEA's number 3 taking on EMEA's number 7. Immediately, a very personal match going on here today, and it all goes down to start on Hard Rock Mine.
And like you rightly say, when there's storylines, when there's grudge matches, it can get very, very scary. Very slow start in, though, from Reply Totem, so let's see whether they are still stuck yet, because we may have something going on there. We'll check in just a bit to see whether they are going to be joining the match now. So I'm going to do a little restart here as well. Looks like Reply didn't quite get into the match okay.
Yeah, we're going to make sure we take care of those technical issues and let the teams reset here. I'm assuming drafts will stay the same, though. Can't imagine that was a mistake. It's going to be a tough one regardless. I mean, just by looking at the draft real quickly, a little burst of damage coming in there for Chester. I feel like that's somebody that's been sneaky. It's not somebody that I saw a ton leading into scrims, but we've already seen it a couple times today. I think it's nice just into those beefy brawlers to have that quick burst of damage. You got to be able to remove brawlers, especially ones like Hank, really early, and that's somebody that's super relevant right now.
It's been great to see how much the meta's changed as well since LCQ. Just not even with the biggest of changes, let's be honest. Just very subtle tonings downs of certain brawlers, and Mina was one of them, but she's still actually being picked up quite a lot here, which I quite like for her. I mean, having something so versatile, something so aggressive, I think it's going to really match a lot of the alley play on the other side of the field. But in terms of these two teams, again, like I said, so closely matched. This was a real tough one when it came to my predictions and working out who was going to have the upper hand here.
You know, the seeding in EMEA is so interesting to me because Team Heretics were looking at number 3 seed, Reply Totem number 7. Team Heretics won one grand finals and struggled to make any other grand finals the entire year, but that one win was enough to push them over the edge, enough consistency in terms of qualifying. But both of these teams certainly weren't perfect, even from getting out of monthly qualifiers. There's only 2 teams in EMEA that made every single month, SK Gaming and Novo, and just being consistent is half the battle in this region.
Yeah, like you said, coming into the match, about how Zara has been, for me, one of those players that has just thrived, coming from another region. And that was the month in which, we saw a massive change from Team Heretics in June when they won the monthly final. That really was all down to that roster change, and a very bold one at that to do mid-season. It takes a lot of guts.
Absolutely. I mean, a bold call as well. And, they really debated that 3rd spot. I don't even know if Zara was technically the number 1 choice, right? They got declined at one point from players from Novo. It's so funny to see how things turn out. And immediately after, Zara kicks in, and what does he do? He wins a grand finals, one of his first in 2 years. Absolutely crazy. On the other end, though, Angel Boy Drage, a pairing that's definitely an interesting duo, right? I feel like we have this establishment of Maru Mari. Just been a twosome for years. Absolutely fierce, so consistently making worlds. They've had some close calls the last couple times, but I think they've been always trying to find what's going to push them over the edge. And I really do believe that Drage could be an excellent coach. I mean, just the top-level gameplay that he's had in the past. His mindset has always been helping out with drafts anyways, and now being able to coach on the sidelines as well mid-game is even beneficial, just to have the best eyes on them at all times.
Yeah, Drage and Angel Boy, of course, former teammates, going back to 2024 LCQ. Wasn't quite to be for them. They didn't make the World Finals. They just came shy in that regard to Eternal Fire, but it's